Around the Green Hornet, you said that you learned you'd rather be making the studio's least expensive movie.
For sure. Like, that was like a real shock as far as like the different level of scrutiny you get when you are their biggest focus versus how little scrutiny you get when some other assholes are their biggest focus and you're the guy that they can't be worrying about because you cost 1/10 as much as these guys. So just from a sheer manpower standpoint, it's a waste of resources to focus on our and that was something that like Green Hornet really made us appreciate. We were like, oh, now we're the assholes that some other motherfuckers are getting to make whatever they want.
Boom. Yes. How you doing? I'm Cory Hunter. This is another episode of Tips from Directors. Here we're watching another segment, another interview, another clip from Seth Rogen. Where he's talking about the benefit of being the small guy, right? And that's the guy who's working on a movie with a smaller budget when they got investors, right? And he's talking about the beauty of it, right? And he hit on something that's just important, something that, you know, we I guess we take for granted, we throw in the back of our mind, or maybe something we just don't think about. And that is sometimes it's a good place to be the small guy. You get me? Studios is trying to make money. They're investing in projects and they're hoping for returns, right? And their projects that they invested in don't just range here. It range from here to there, right? So if you got multiple projects going on, you got this big project and you got this project going on at the same time, everybody's paying attention to this guy, and this guy is able to create the art that they want, right? And that in itself is beauty, right? Because they want to make their money back. That's just what it is, right? You as a person, right? If you give somebody $20 and they like, yo, man, I could flip this $20, you like, yo, here's $20, man, flip it. I trust you. Give me the profits in return when it start happening. As opposed to somebody and they like, yo, give me $1,000, man, and I can flip it. You like, all right, man. This was a tough sell. I'm gonna give you $1,000, but I need spreadsheets. I need to keep tabs on you. I need to know what's going on. All right. I can't. Nah, just give me the $1,000 and let me do my thing. No, because you taking my $1,000, right? I need to know what's going on because I got skin in the game and I need to make this money back. That's what the big dogs is going through. So now you got two people beefing. Not two people, but a bunch of people beefing back and forth. Everybody do have the best intention in mind, right? Which is, you know, to make a hit. But it's just a lot of minds operating on that level. And they got to mix and collaborate in that way. A lot of times that can be a disaster because, you know, bottom line, only one decision can be made and there's a bunch of opinions being thrown around. And that's always a recipe for disaster. As opposed to the small guy who they like, you know, do what you think is best. You know, you hit or miss anyway. It is what it is. And that guy can create the movie and art that he wants. And that's where we get a lot of cult classics. That's where we get a lot of classics. That's where we get a lot of hits. And sometimes the movies go on and make 20 times, 100 times the amount that was invested in them. Right? Let's get back into this.
Because we're absorbing all the studio's attention and scrutiny, you know.
What did you discover when you had that scrutiny and all the studio's attention in terms of the way it killed the creative process?
It was just so like, it was one of those things where like, it was like death by 1,000 cuts and you kind of don't even realize it's happening until it's happened, you know? Like, we just never experienced anything like it. And I think it is one of those things where in real time, also there's like a real certain level of delusion that is like required when making a movie. Like, you kind of have to trick yourself into thinking it's not at least really bad or else it's hard to just keep going, you know? So.
That's another thing too. Like you said, man, you go into making a movie, man, you gotta play mind games with yourself. You gotta do the Jedi mind trick, right? And make yourself believe that you're creating something special, right? And look, man, we live in this world that we live in. It's a lot of egos and a lot of arrogance. And everybody's talking about, you know, I'm the best and I can do the best. But the truth is, when you're doing it, It's a lot of doubts that go through your head, all right? There's a difference between talking that talk and walking that walk, all right? And when you walk in that walk, you become aware of all the obstacles, all the pitfalls, and all the things that can go wrong, all the things that's against you, right? And you're like, okay, how do we navigate through all this, right? That's fine, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So, going into a movie, even with freedom, you still have to battle that. So now imagine walking into a movie, right? Trying to set everything up, and now you got a whole bunch of opinions or expectations weighing you down. It's just not a good feeling.
It felt like very early on we weren't really going to do what we had hoped to do, but we still hoped what we were then going to do would be, something that we were proud of and super psyched about. But yeah, I remember we had never gotten notes really. We had written Superbad and Pineapple Express for Sony. They both had done really, really, really well. We're both critically well received, and then all of a sudden it was all right, time for our 4-hour notes meeting, page 1. Why does he say this? Page 2, that seems like a big chunk of dialogue. Shouldn't it be this, more back and forth?
And how does that feel in the room when you're having to sort of justify?
I remember just being what the I feel like I was what is happening right?
Yes, man, that happens. It's good to be humble enough to take direction, right? Sometimes, man, you gotta pop the brakes on that. You get me? And the reason why is because you're not a Padawan, if that makes any sense. They didn't hire somebody in training to do something, right? They hired a Jedi Knight, right? And that's what you are. You're a Jedi Knight. So let me go out and do my Jedi Knighting, all right? Just let me do my thing, right? If you don't think I can do that thing, you wouldn't have hired me. You hired me because I have the ability and track record, or maybe you just trust me to be able to do the thing that I'm doing. So now what you got to do is you got to trust me to do the thing that I'm doing. So it's not really about, oh man, I got to play ball with these guys. I got to be humble. I don't want to I don't want to piss nobody off. It's really look, man, if y'all all telling me to do these things, I'm trying to make everybody happy, nobody's going to be happy because we're going to end up creating something that don't make no sense because it's a Frankenstein project, right? So what you got to do is you got to say, look, man, if you're going to trust me, then trust me. And that's really where you hear all the beefing about directors and the studios. That's what it's really all about. It's really about the director saying, they're not trusting me to create the thing that I want to create. And sometimes the studio is saying, yo, we don't want you to create what you want to create. We want you to create what we want you to create, but we know you have the ability to get this project to the finish line. And that can be a clash because it's a difference of the goals is different. The goals is different. A lot of artists is creating things that they can be proud of. They creating things that they can resonate with. They creating things that they believe is good. Studios is trying to create something that's good that can be packaged and sold, right? And that's fine. Both can work, and neither is really bad or evil. It's not really a lesson of right or wrong. It's really about if we're on the same page. You know what I'm saying? You got one person who's just trying to move some product, and you got another person who's trying to create something special with that product. They're going to clash, right? Really, you got to find a director, right? And you can find big directors, known directors, very skilled and passionate directors who is on board. You know what? This is a check, and this is what they want me to do. Watch me swag this as best that I can. Sometimes that's the guy they're looking for, right? And then sometimes it's not. And for a bunch of reasons. It's not really about being a sellout or a true artist. It's really about that creator's relationship with that project that defines their relationship with that studio at that time. So let me see what else my man got to say about this.
Now, they were like, we're giving you notes. And I was like, this is crazy. We didn't just sit there and we were probably, there was a lot of conflict. It was like a highly confrontational situation because we also aren't and weren't people that just like sit there and take that stuff. We were like, you hired us, we thought, because we've written 2 good movies for you guys with none of your input.
Right.
Why do you think the third one, all of a sudden, with all this input, is going to be better? Like, it was so stupid. But then there was also some sense of like, okay, like we're trying to do something different. Like maybe, I think, like how much of what makes us special do we need to hold on to? Or will it be exciting to try to do something that feels totally unlike what we've done before? So maybe these things that we're like holding on to, maybe we shouldn't hold on to as hard. And maybe that's what can make this great, you know? That wasn't true.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I think I done said everything I needed to say, man. It caused you to question yourself, right? And we gotta deal with a lot of self-doubt by ourselves. Then I have like 15 people on top of us telling us all these things. Like, it's a lot. There's nothing wrong with being in that position. No, it's nothing wrong with having these great opportunities, all right? You just gotta be on the same page and know what you want, what you're fighting for, and what you're working for, right? And, you know, sometimes if you're doing it for the check, if you're doing it as a strategic move to go to the next level, then you know you need to remove your pride out of it, right? But if you really invested in this project and you're willing to take an L, and that means like less investment or whatever the case may be, then that's what it is, man. You just gotta know yourself. Know thyself. That's what they said in the Matrix, right? That's a fact. Don't try to bend the spoon, be the spoon. So yeah, we're gonna leave it right there. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. Arigato. And as always, until next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check me out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Leave a comment so that we can get a discussion going. Check out the Patreon, check out the Turtle School that's there for you. Tools to help you learn and write and create stories. Thank you, and I appreciate you.